The hall was silent. Guests held their breath, watching as the bride, stunning in her diamond-studded gown, looked down in disgust at the groom's family, humble, plainly dressed, standing nervously at the edge of the decorated aisle. The tension was so thick that even the chandeliers seemed to tremble with the weight of unspoken judgment. Right from the beginning, the bride's eyes had betrayed her discontent. Though she smiled for the photographs, her whispered words to her bridesmaids carried the sting of disdain. "Can you believe what they're wearing? My wedding deserves better than this." And at that moment, no one could have imagined how this very day, the day meant to seal her life with wealth, pride, and honor, would completely change her heart forever. Backhand index pointing right. Before I take you deeper into this story, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think money should ever define respect in relationships? Share your opinion in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness for more powerful stories like this one. The bride's world versus the groom's world. Clara was born into wealth. Her father, a real estate magnate, had given her the kind of life most could only dream of. Expensive clothes, private schools, vacations abroad, it was all hers without effort. By the time she was 25, she had learned to measure people not by their kindness, but by the brand of their shoes or the shine of their jewelry. Daniel, her groom, was the opposite. He came from a modest background. His father had worked as a schoolteacher, his mother a seamstress. Their small house had always been filled with laughter, warmth, and homemade food. Love was abundant, even if money wasn't. When Daniel and Clara fell in love, they believed their bond could bridge the gap between their worlds. But Clara had never really faced Daniel's family in the raw reality of her own standards, until the wedding day. The church was filled with roses, golden drapes, and the finest crystal chandeliers. Clara's side of the aisle shimmered with expensive gowns and glittering jewelry. Daniel's family entered quietly, their simple clothes standing in sharp contrast. Clara's lips curled ever so slightly as she saw them, her judgment as visible as her satin veil. Her bridesmaids noticed. Guests noticed. Even Daniel, as he stood waiting, felt the sting of her disapproval. Yet he remained silent, hoping love would override pride. But Clara wasn't done. During the family introductions, she greeted Daniel's relatives with a forced smile. When his mother hugged her with trembling hands, Clara barely returned the gesture. "Wrinkled dress, old shoes," she whispered under her breath. The ceremony proceeded, but whispers among the guests began to grow. Clara's wealthy friends laughed softly at Daniel's family, their voices dripping with condescension. Clara smirked along, not realizing her words were slicing deeper than she knew. Then came the turning point. During the vows, Daniel's younger sister, a shy girl of just 15, stepped forward to give a speech. She held a folded piece of paper and her voice quivered, but her words carried the weight of truth. "I know we don't look rich, and I know our clothes aren't fancy. But my brother taught me that love isn't measured by money, it's measured by sacrifice. When our father got sick, Daniel worked 3 jobs just so I could stay in school. He skipped meals so we could eat. He gave up his own dreams so we could chase ours. To us, he's not just a brother, he's a hero. Clara, please, don't just love him for his suit today. Love him for the man he truly is." Silence. Tears welled in the eyes of many guests. Clara's smirk disappeared, replaced by a sudden pang in her chest. For the first time, she saw not clothes, not status, but love, raw, selfless, unshakable love. The speech broke something inside Clara. As applause filled the hall, she felt exposed, her own arrogance standing naked in front of the truth. She looked at Daniel's mother again, this time noticing the weary strength in her eyes, the grace of a woman who had raised her children with love, not luxury. Yet pride fought back. "But what will people think if I lower myself?" she wondered. Her father's stern gaze from the front row reminded her of the pressure to maintain appearances. For years, she had been taught to believe she was above others. Could she let that go in a single moment? Then came the defining moment. When the priest asked if anyone had objections, one of Clara's wealthy relatives chuckled loud enough for all to hear, muttering, "This marriage is doomed. He'll never fit into our world." Daniel's face turned pale. His family lowered their eyes in shame. It was Clara's chance to speak. And she did. Clara stepped forward, her voice trembling yet strong. "You're wrong. I was wrong. Today, I saw a family richer than mine will ever be, rich in love, sacrifice, and kindness. If I can't see the value in that, then I don't deserve Daniel. But I do love him, and I will learn from him. From today on, I want to be more like his family, not less." Gasps filled the hall. Daniel's mother began to cry softly, and his sister rushed to hug Clara. For the first time, the bride embraced them, not out of duty, but out of genuine respect. From that moment, the wedding shifted. The guests who had mocked grew silent. Clara's wealthy friends, ashamed, avoided eye contact. The ceremony finished not with division, but with unity. Clara danced with Daniel's father, laughed with his cousins, and sat with his mother, listening to stories of their humble beginnings. The millionaire bride had finally discovered that the true wealth of marriage was not gold or diamonds, it was family, sacrifice, and love. Pride and social pressure, Clara's upbringing had ingrained in her the habit of judging worth by wealth. Overcoming that mindset in front of hundreds of guests was her greatest challenge. Mockery and class divide, Daniel's family endured ridicule from wealthy guests, testing their dignity and patience. The bride's identity crisis, torn between her father's expectations and her own growing respect for Daniel's family, Clara risked humiliation by choosing humility. Public transformation, admitting she was wrong, in front of everyone, required Clara to swallow her ego completely, a painful but liberating step. Clara's transformation at the altar left everyone speechless. She began her day as a millionaire bride sneering at a simple family, but ended it as a woman humbled by the richest gift life could give, unconditional love. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all: wealth can buy luxury, but it can never buy the kind of richness that binds families together. Backhand index pointing right. What did you feel while listening to this story? Do you think you would have done the same if you were in Clara's place? Share your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to read them. And please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness so you never miss more inspiring stories that touch the heart.